the entirety of the NFL until that day they decided it wasn't. James and I are still together. We're close for 18 years, but it never happened. So anyway, after hearing these claims yesterday by James Harrison, Sean Payton, coach of the Saints, they had their bounty gate. He was suspended. He always feels a little bit like the Saints get the short end of the stick.
If people are waiting for the league to investigate that, they shouldn't hold their breath. I would be shocked. That'll be something that's tucked away or under the rug at Park Avenue. They'll look into it briefly. Don't get me started on that.
Get you back in the doghouse, Coach.
In salary. Honestly, something I'll never truly get over because I know how it was handled and how it was run and the reasons behind it. And that's just the truth.
Oh, Lord. First of all, James Harrison thing happened 10 years ago. And we just found out about it. Statute of limitations, maybe. James is out of the league. Okay? Mike Tomlin shouldn't say anything. It's over. The bounty gate was different. The NFL found out about it either while it was still going on or it just happened and the players were all still in the league and Peyton was, one of the stars, celebrity coaches in the league at the time. And so the NFL, increased concern about safety, found out in the moment or close to the moment, players still in the league and said, yeah, suspensions, fines, the like. Okay, big difference between something happened and you discover it 10 years ago, and I'll get to the pandemic part of this, and I discovered it now. Now, the Saints can say, we weren't the only ones doing it. A lot of bank robbers don't get caught. The ones who do get in big trouble. It's called the speed limit. Everybody goes over it. You ever gone to a cop and say, the guy going next to me was going much faster? They're not interested. You roll the dice in life if you're going to cheat on your taxes, you're going to rob a bank, you're going to do bounties. You may not be the only person doing it, but if you get caught, you're in big trouble. The Saints got caught. The NFL, there's this thing about New Orleans that they think the league is after them. Why in the world would the NFL not love the Saints? They play Super Bowls there. They have maybe the most creative offensive coach. They have an incredibly likable Hall of Fame quarterback. Post-Katrina, there is a resilience to the city I think we all admire. People love New Orleans. Now, the New Orleans NBA franchise nobody cares about. New Orleans and Green Bay are the two, and this is why the NFL is king, small markets thrive. The Packers and the Saints are two of the top 7 or 8 brands in the league in tiny cities. Everybody likes New Orleans. It's America's party city. You go, you eat oysters, you party, you throw up, they clean it up, nobody knows, you come back home and do your job at work. Everybody likes New Orleans. Nobody's picking on New Orleans. The NFL last New Orleans that deal a huge part of their economy is tourism, and right now nobody wants to get in an airplane. So yes, the NFL's worried about now, not 10 years ago, nor should they be. This idea is becoming so almost laughable now that the NFL's out to get New Orleans. Everybody likes New Orleans. Who doesn't like New Orleans? Who doesn't like the Saints? I mean, outside of a rival in division, they mostly don't like the Saints because the Saints beat them. Everybody likes New Orleans. The NFL likes New Orleans. And stop. Enough. Bounty gate, you got caught. You rob banks, you get caught, you get tagged. It's the way it works. Now, let me now shift gears to something. I'm going to go in a different direction than what I'm hearing from everybody else on this. People are ripping Blake Snell, he's a baseball player, and they're ripping Blake Snell. And they're saying Blake Snell, all he cares about is money, 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 money. And I do admit the optics of talking about money gets really ugly. I said it. I admit it. But I thought about this in the last couple of days. So here's Blake Snell talking about, you want me to take pay cut after pay cut after pay cut. I'm not doing it.
Y'all got to understand, too, because y'all going to be like, bro, Blake, play for the love of the game, man. What's wrong with you, bro? Money should not be a thing. Bro, I'm risking my life. What do you mean it should not be a thing? It 100% should be a thing. If I'm going to play, I should be getting the money I signed to be getting paid. I should not be getting half of what I'm getting paid because the season's cut in half, on top of a 33% cut of the half that's already there. On top of that, it's getting taxed. So imagine how much I'm actually making to play. You know what I'm saying?
I'm going to defend him. The optics aren't good, but let's not worry about optics during a virus. Let's worry about like data and science and stuff, not how stuff lands on Twitter. Let me defend Blake Snell, who's a really good player. Who's taking the risk in all these sports? The athlete. Okay? In unique times, you have to have unique positions and strategies. Generally in my life, I have often supported owners. I've been part of businesses in my life. I have some ownership in this show. You know, I see the owner's side, the capital, the risk. Who's taking the risk? It's not the players. It's not the billionaires. This is the one time in my life I'm going to go for the players on this in all sports. A, they're taking the physical risk. B, they're leaving their families. In the NBA, they're going to have to play thousands of miles from their families. Grandmas, grandpas, family. They don't know what's going on. They don't know what's going on with their family. They're not there to support them. They can't fly back. And the third thing is, if the players say no, owners have no leverage. Owners could not say today you have to play. Absolutely not. This is an agreement between everybody. And I hear this all the time. Well, I mean, owners are going to lose billions. Okay. There's a reason people don't sell baseball teams very often. Frank McCourt was forced to sell it. Okay. Let's take the Dodgers, because I'm in Los Angeles. The Dodgers were purchased 8 years ago for $2 billion. At the time, you may recall, whoa, that is ridiculous. They're not even worth half that. 8 years later, they're worth $3.3 billion. I'm going to do some quick math. Actually, I did it 2 hours ago. $1.3 billion of growth in 8 years. The Dodgers' equity grows $162 million a year. Players never get part of that. And by the way, because of the instability in the stock markets around the world, because of the instability of the housing markets, where are the world's wealthy investing? Pro sports franchises. They're growing and growing and growing and growing, and the players don't get any. They just get a salary. And I know business guys are saying, hey, Cowherd, the owners take the risk. So I want to stay with that word risk for a second, because capitalists love the word risk. I am risking the big money. All right, we'll use that word you love to just throw at players all the time. Risk. On your private jet, everybody masks and gloves. 4 people. What's the risk in the billionaire's suite? What's the risk in your castle/mansion? There is none. The risk, the word you love to use, operative word here, is all on the players. NBA players, hockey players, soccer players, baseball players. Owners, give one to the players. This is the year. You're going to make $100 million. When LeBron went to Cleveland, Dan Gilbert made $500 million equity of his franchise in an hour. Players don't get part of that. They don't get part of any of that. They get a salary and taxed. Yeah, like Steph Curry pays a higher tax rate in California than I do. Why? Because I can file as a business owner. He's an employee. That's why guys like LeBron have businesses on the side so they can at least shelter or, manipulate like owners can do some of their shoe business and some of their movie business and some of their TV